How's it going, everybody? The first half of the spring sale just started on PlayStation. It's running from now until April 8th, and there's a ton of absolute bangers on sale for up to 75% off. Every day, I put together lists of the top games you can get at a deep discount, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's video. Alright, with that out of the way, let's get straight into it. For $5, 75% off, Resident Evil 4 is the survival horror shooter that revolutionized the genre, remastered in full 1080p with a smoother frame rate, sharper visuals, and all previously released bonus content. Step into the role of Leon S. Kennedy as he travels to a remote European village on a desperate mission to rescue the president's daughter, only to uncover a nightmarish cult infected with a mind-controlling parasite. It's a 96 on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 25 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $4, 80% off, Planet of Lana is a visually stunning action-adventure where you guide Lana and her loyal companion through a beautifully vibrant but threatened world, striving to restore balance to the planet's harmony. What begins as a journey of survival evolves into a deeply emotional quest across diverse environments, combining clever puzzles, stealthy navigation, and challenging action sequences that test reflexes, wit, and strategic thinking. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 5 hours to platinum. For $5, 75% off, Resident Evil, the 2002 version, is the survival horror game that defined the genre, now fully remastered in HD with updated visuals, smoother gameplay, and dramatically enhanced sound design for an even more immersive experience. In 1998, a Special Forces team is sent to investigate bizarre murders on the outskirts of Raccoon City, only to be ambushed by bloodthirsty dogs and forced to seek refuge in a sprawling, eerie mansion. It's a 90 on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $5, 75% off, Slime Rancher is a charming first-person sandbox adventure where you play as Beatrix LeBeau, a plucky young rancher who leaves Earth to start a new life on the distant, colorful, whimsical Far Far Range. You'll collect dozens of adorable slimes, grow crops, and explore vast, untamed landscapes, while upgrading your all-purpose backpack, expanding your ranch, and experimenting with over 150 hybrid slime combinations. It's a 76 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $5, 75% off, Resident Evil 0 is the chilling prequel that uncovers the events leading up to the iconic mansion incident, setting the stage for the entire Resident Evil saga. You'll alternate between rookie medic Rebecca Chambers and escaped convict Billy Cohen, using each of their abilities to solve intricate puzzles, manage scarce resources, and fight through terrifying biological monstrosities aboard a runaway train and deep within a secret Umbrella facility. It's a 70 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $4, 80% off, Unravel 2 is a heartfelt puzzle platformer where you create your own Yarny and embark on a cooperative journey of connection, courage, and discovery. You'll traverse beautifully crafted environments, from cold, desolate landscapes to vibrant forests and sunlit shores, solving physics-based puzzles that require creativity and teamwork to overcome obstacles, collect secrets, and unravel the world's mysteries together. It's an 80 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 8 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $5, 75% off, Resident Evil 5 brings one of the most popular entries in the survival horror series to PlayStation 4 in full 1080p HD with a smoother frame rate, delivering intense, thrilling action and cooperative gameplay with cinematic flair and updated controls. Play solo or with a friend as Chris Redfield and Shiva Alomar battle bioorganic threats across Africa, uncovering a sinister plot while facing hordes of infected enemies and powerful bosses. It's an 86 on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $5, 80% off, Observation is a sci-fi thriller where you investigate a space station's mysteries through the eyes of the station's artificial intelligence, SAM, as chaos, malfunctions, and hidden dangers unfold around you. You assist Dr. Emma Fisher in uncovering what happened to her crew by controlling cameras, systems, and tools, piecing together intricate clues while navigating a chilling, isolated environment. It's a 76 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 10 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $5, 75% off, Resident Evil 6 is an action horror thriller that delivers 4 intersecting campaigns, fast-paced combat, and explosive set pieces that push the series in a bold, cinematic, and wildly ambitious new direction. Follow Leon, Chris, Jake, and Ada across outbreaks filled with bioterror threats, shootouts, and tense encounters as each storyline blends gameplay styles, shifting perspectives, and memorable character moments. It's a 71 on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. For $4, 80% off, Destiny The Collection is a comprehensive first-person shooter bundle that includes every major release and expansion, offering both new and returning Guardians an epic journey across a vast, shared sci-fi universe. Explore diverse planets across the solar system, complete story-driven missions and cooperative strikes, and develop your character's abilities, gear, and arsenal with a level 40 boost to jump straight into the action. It's a 77 on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 100 hours to platinum. For $5, 75% off, Resident Evil Revelations is a survival horror classic remastered in full HD, featuring all DLC, enhanced lighting, sharper textures, and new gameplay improvements that make this the definitive version to play. Set between Resident Evil 4 and 5, you'll take on the role of Jill Valentine as she explores a derelict cruise ship drifting through the Mediterranean, searching for Chris Redfield while uncovering a chilling bioterror conspiracy. It's a 71 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 75 hours to platinum. For $5, 75% off, The Messenger is a fast-paced, challenging retro action platformer where a young ninja sets out to deliver a sacred scroll after his village is attacked by a relentless demon army threatening his clan's survival. What starts as a straightforward 8-bit adventure quickly evolves into a sprawling, time-traveling epic packed with sharp humor, hidden paths, clever puzzles, and rewarding exploration that keeps you constantly engaged. It's an 86 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $5, 75% off, Resident Evil Revelations 2 Deluxe Edition is a survival horror thriller that follows Claire Redfield and Barry Burton through 4 interwoven episodes filled with suspense, grotesque creatures, and chilling environments. You navigate claustrophobic locations, solve puzzles, and fight off relentless enemies while uncovering a dark conspiracy, with each episode revealing more about the characters and their harrowing circumstances. It's a 74 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $4, 80% off, Dragon's Crown Pro is a hand-painted 2D action RPG that brings Vanillaware's stunning fantasy world of Hydaelyn to life with gorgeous art, orchestral music, and exhilarating side-scrolling combat. You'll choose from 6 distinct character classes, each with unique skills, abilities, and equipment, and battle through sprawling, monster-filled dungeons packed with traps and treasure in both solo and cooperative multiplayer. It's an 83 on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 90 hours to platinum. For $5, 75% off, Paradise Killer is a murder mystery adventure set on an island outside reality, where a rogue civilization seeks to resurrect dead alien gods and wield unimaginable cosmic power. You play as investigator Lady Love Dies, solving the murder of the council before the island's rebirth, while exploring a bizarre, cryptic world, collecting evidence, interrogating suspects, and piecing together conflicting testimonies to build your own case. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $4, 85% off, KeyWe is a chaotic co-op postal puzzle game where you play as Jeff and Deborah, 2 adorable kiwi birds navigating the bustling Bungalow Basin telepost office together. With no hands to help, you'll frantically flap, jump, peck, and butt slam your way through wildly interactive mailrooms, from the drop-off depot to the telegraph desk, facing sandstorms, blizzards, carnivorous plants, and paranormal activity along the way. It's a 75 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $5, 75% off, What Remains of Edith Finch is a narrative-focused first-person adventure where you return to the towering, maze-like Finch house to uncover the intimate stories behind each family member's final day and gradually unravel their unforgettable legacy. You'll move through shifting vignettes that mix clever mechanics, striking visual transitions, and rich environmental details as you inhabit different Finches across eras and emotional tones. It's an 88 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 5 hours to platinum. For $4, 80% off, Rayman Legends is a precision platforming adventure where Rayman, Glowbox, and the gang leap back into action to stop a growing horde of twisted nightmares overrunning the Glade of Dreams. You'll sprint across rhythm-based levels, chain acrobatic moves through hand-drawn stages, and tackle inventive challenges that mix tight platforming, environmental puzzles, and frantic cooperative chaos into one endlessly creative package. It's a 90 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 80 hours to platinum. For $5, 75% off, Injustice: Gods Among Us Ultimate Edition is a cinematic fighting game from NetherRealm Studios, where DC heroes and villains clash in a dark alternate timeline. Battle across interactive arenas using character-specific powers, unleash cinematic super moves with icons like Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, and dive into extra content including 6 DLC fighters, 60 Star Labs missions, and over 30 alternate skins. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 9 out of 10, and about 90 hours to platinum. For $5, 75% off, Burnout Paradise Remastered is an open-world driving game where you tear through the streets of Paradise City, performing high-speed stunts, wreaking havoc, and mastering daring crashes at blistering arcade speeds. You'll explore downtown avenues, mountain roads, and the expanded Big Surf Island while competing in races, challenges, and chaotic online multiplayer mayhem with friends or other players worldwide. It's an 88 on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $5, 75% off, Wolfenstein The New Order is an alternate history first-person shooter set in 1960s Europe, where a ruthless regime uses advanced technology to dominate the globe and only super soldier BJ Blazkowicz can rewrite history. With elite combat tactics, an arsenal of advanced weaponry, resistance missions, and battles against massive mechs and unstoppable super soldiers, it delivers an intense campaign of global-scale warfare. It's an 82 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $4, 80% off, SteamWorld Dig 2 is a Metroidvania that plunges you into an underground world brimming with secrets, treasure, and danger. When mysterious earthquakes strike an old trading town, you play as a lone steambot and her unlikely companion, digging through vivid caves, battling shadowy creatures, and uncovering the haunted remains of an ancient electrical threat while upgrading your gear to reach deeper, more perilous areas. It's an 88 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $4, 85% off, The Division 2 is a tactical online RPG where you join elite civilian agents to save Washington, D.C., a city transformed by storms, flooding, and chaos, while battling hostile factions and protecting society's survivors. Complete seasonal objectives, strategically specialize your agent with unique skills and mods, and team up in co-op or competitive PvP to liberate the city and rebuild settlements while uncovering new threats. It's an 83 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. For $2, 90% off, Vampire the Masquerade, Cotories of New York is a narrative-driven RPG set in a dark, modern vampire world where you navigate the conflict between the Camarilla and the Anarchs. Choose between 3 distinct clans with unique abilities and perspectives, shape your story through branching dialogue and moral choices, and build relationships with key characters who can influence the outcome of your journey. It's a 70 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 1 out of 10, and about 15 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $5, 67% off, Planet Cube Edge is a fast-paced run-and-gun platformer where you play as Edge, a lab technician turned unlikely hero fighting to save his world from a mysterious invasion. Run, jump, and dash through a dangerous underwater science complex, blast through hordes of enemies and massive bosses, and master precision platforming across handcrafted pixel art levels filled with hazards and traps. It's a 70 on OpenCritic, and I'm not sure about trophy difficulty or time to platinum as it's such a small sample size. For $4, 90% off, Cris Tales is a beautifully hand-drawn indie JRPG that lets you see the past, present, and future simultaneously as you guide Crispell on a sweeping, time-bending adventure. Manipulate time in strategic turn-based battles to age enemies or restore allies instantly, explore vibrant kingdoms inspired by Latin American culture and folklore, and make impactful story choices that visibly reshape towns and characters in real time. It's a 74 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $5, 75% off, Mainfold Garden is a mind-bending puzzle game that reimagines the laws of physics, letting you manipulate gravity to explore an Escher-esque world of impossible architecture and infinite horizons. You'll navigate endlessly repeating geometric structures, solve intricate environmental puzzles, and shift perspectives to uncover hidden paths, restore life to a barren world, and unlock the secrets of the universe. It's an 82 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $3, 80% off, The Swords of Ditto, Mormo's Curse is a roguelite action RPG where each new hero embarks on a unique, unforgettable adventure to defeat the evil Mormo and protect a vibrant, whimsical island. You explore a colorful overworld, delve into perilous dungeons, and wield the mystical Sword of Ditto while uncovering legendary tales that link each adventure into a heroic legacy filled with unexpected challenges and hidden secrets. It's an 85 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 35 hours to platinum. For $5, 80% off, The Chant is a third-person horror action-adventure set on a remote spiritual island retreat where a ritual goes wrong and unleashes a psychedelic dimension of cosmic terror. You'll explore a haunting island, interact with troubled survivors, and fight or flee from prismatic creatures, while carefully managing mind, body, and spirit through crafting, combat, and supernatural abilities as you uncover a cult's dark past. It's a 70 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $5, 75% off, Huntdown is a hard-boiled 2D arcade shooter where bounty hunters clean up a neon-drenched future city overrun by ruthless gangs. Run and gun through graffiti-soaked 80s-inspired streets using tight 60 FPS gameplay, tackle stages solo or in co-op with suppressive fire tactics, and battle everything from punk thugs to over-the-top crime bosses brought to life with hand-painted 16-bit pixel art and a pounding synth soundtrack. It's an 85 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 9 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $5, 80% off, Afterimage is a hand-drawn 2D action-adventure set in the haunting ruins of a shattered fantasy world, where an amnesiac girl named Renee sets out to recover her lost memories and uncover the truth behind a cataclysm. You'll traverse the interconnected world of Garden, battling over 170 enemy types and 30 brutal bosses across painterly landscapes, while unlocking new abilities that expand your exploration and combat potential. It's a 77 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. For $5, 75% off, Tormented Souls is a survival horror adventure that channels the spirit of classics like Resident Evil and Silent Hill. Following Carolyn Walker, she investigates the mysterious disappearance of twin girls in a decrepit, decaying mansion filled with nightmarish secrets. You'll explore the eerie halls of Winterlake, solving fiendish puzzles, scavenging scarce resources, and surviving grotesque creatures that stalk every shadowed corridor. It's a 74 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $2, 90% off, Arkanoid Eternal Battle is a modernized arcade block breaker where you control the Voss ship to destroy space walls and defeat Doe across a reimagined interdimensional maze. You'll bounce energy balls to clear levels, use power-ups and abilities, and compete in modes like Retro, Neo, and a 25-player online battle royale with leaderboards and escalating difficulty that adds chaotic multiplayer competition. It's a 70 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 10 out of 10, and about 35 hours to platinum. For $2, 80% off, Flashback is a cinematic sci-fi platformer where you play as Conrad B. Hart, an amnesiac scientist stranded on Titan, who must escape kidnappers and unravel an extraterrestrial conspiracy. You'll navigate hand-drawn environments, solve puzzles, and use fluid animations while avoiding enemies, uncovering secrets, and utilizing the new modern mode with remastered graphics, sound, and a rewind function. It's an 85 on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 10 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $4, 90% off, Evil Genius 2 World Domination is a satirical spy-fi layer builder where you become an evil genius, training minions, constructing a deadly island hideout, and executing elaborate schemes to dominate the world. You'll design your lair with traps and gadgets, recruit specialists and powerful henchmen, and carry out dastardly missions while defending against the forces of justice and preparing a doomsday device. It's a 78 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 9 out of 10, and about 55 hours to platinum. For $2, 85% off, Indigo Prophecy is the first groundbreaking interactive drama from Quantic Dream, the creators of Heavy Rain and Beyond Two Souls, where you experience a chilling paranormal thriller set in 1990s New York City. Play both sides of a gripping murder conspiracy as ordinary people are mysteriously possessed to commit shocking crimes, uncovering the dark supernatural forces behind a chilling series of mysterious killings. It's an 85 on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. For $3, 85% off, Scourgebringer is a fast-paced roguelite platformer that plunges you into a post-apocalyptic world filled with ancient machines, deadly foes, and hidden mysteries. Play as Kira, the deadliest warrior of her clan, as you slash through ancient machines, explore ever-changing dungeons, and confront colossal bosses while uncovering lost secrets, hidden relics, ancient technologies, and the devastating fate of humanity. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $3, 80% off, Ziggurat is a fast-paced, first-person dungeon-crawling shooter where you play as a neophyte sorcerer, proving your worth by battling enemies and powerful bosses in procedurally generated labyrinths. You'll cast spells, unlock perks, navigate deadly traps, and collect valuable treasures, while combining FPS action with roguelite and RPG elements for a varied, challenging, and endlessly replayable experience. It's a 78 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 35 hours to platinum. For $2, 75% off, Nexomon is a 2D turn-based monster-catching RPG where you explore a vibrant world and collect, train, and evolve over 300 unique Nexomon. Choose from 7 starter Nexomon and build a team to take on powerful tamers, legendary champions, and the merciless Nexolord, using 7 elemental types to gain the advantage, capture wild Nexomon, complete challenging quests, and customize your roster to your liking. It's a 76 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $4, 85% off, The Division is a tactical third-person shooter RPG set in a post-pandemic New York City, where society has collapsed after a deadly virus outbreak. You'll explore an open world packed with missions, encounters, and collectibles as you battle rival factions, reclaim territory, and customize weapons, armor, and skills to suit your playstyle through deep progression systems and seamless online co-op or PvP in intense firefights. It's a 79 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 60 hours to platinum. For $5, 75% off, Serious Sam's Siberian Mayhem is a standalone expansion of the classic FPS series, where you play as Sam Stone battling Mental's horde across the wild Russian landscapes. You'll blaze through 5 expansive levels, fight new terrifying enemies and bosses, and use a deadly arsenal of guns, gadgets, and vehicles while completing side missions, uncovering secrets, and experiencing Sam's trademark over-the-top action. It's a 73 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $2, 90% off, Sword Ship is a high-octane, futuristic dodge-em-up roguelike where you pilot a nimble ship through waves of enemies, turning their attacks against them with split-second maneuvers. Navigate randomly generated underwater levels, master shifting dynamic weather conditions, and experiment with power-up components while balancing risk and reward to maximize your score and survival. It's a 75 on OpenCritic, and I'm not sure about trophy difficulty or time to platinum as it's such a small sample size. For $5, 75% off, The Legend of Tianding is a side-scrolling action game where you play as Liao Tianding, a vigilante outlaw in early 20th century Taipei, fighting colonial authorities while robbing the rich and aiding the poor. You'll execute fast-paced kung fu combos, use a grappling hook and waist sash to traverse dynamic environments, and face deadly bosses while exploring a beautifully recreated city in the style of traditional Chinese manga. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $5, 75% off, The Evil Within is a pure survival horror experience from Shinji Mikami that throws you into a nightmarish world of grotesque creatures, psychological terror, relentless dread, and shifting, unstable realities. With tightly crafted environments, scarce resources that force careful decision-making, terrifying enemy encounters, and a disturbing story blending action with relentless tension, it delivers a punishing and atmospheric descent into madness. It's a 73 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 9 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. For $1, 85% off, Dear Esther Landmark Edition is a first-person experience set on a remote, desolate island where a lost man unravels memories of a fatal crash through fragments of a mysterious letter. Abandoning traditional gameplay, it blends breathtaking environments with a haunting soundtrack, subtle environmental storytelling, and atmospheric sound design to tell a poignant story of love, loss, and redemption. It's a 72 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 1 out of 10, and about 5 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $3, 80% off, Solvars is a fast-paced deck-building RPG that blends high-speed combat with deep strategic planning using the innovative Soulbit system. Combine Soulbit actions and deck-controlling abilities to execute over 100 devastating moves, tactically counter powerful attacks and debuffs from enemy dominators, chain combos for extra damage, and time your strikes for maximum effect in challenging encounters. It's a 72 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 10 out of 10, and about 35 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $4, 85% off, Valfaris is a brutal heavy metal-infused action platformer where you play as Therion, returning to your home fortress to uncover its dark fate and battle arcane evil forces. You'll wield a devastating arsenal of weapons, fight grotesque and challenging bosses, and explore diverse, tainted environments while enjoying handcrafted pixel art and unlocking New Game Plus and Full Metal mode for even deadlier challenges. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $4, 70% off, Lumines Remastered is a minimalist puzzle game where the fusion of light and sound drives a two-color falling block experience in HD and 4K, challenging you to drop blocks strategically before the BPM bar clears combos. You'll play over 40 electronic-themed skins, unlock more as you go, and experiment with shuffle mode to mix music and visuals, while adapting to faster or slower tracks that create tricky, uncleared stacks. It's an 83 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 8 out of 10, and about 75 hours to platinum. For $3, 90% off, In Sound Mind is a first-person psychological horror where you navigate a mysterious building, uncover the fate of chemical-exposed victims, and confront bizarre, nightmarish visions and disturbing phenomena. You'll solve frenetic puzzles, face unique and challenging boss fights, and explore unsettling memories while experiencing a darkly witty story, eerie soundtrack, and unexpected companions, including a cat named Tonya. It's a 73 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $5, 75% off, Mortal Kombat XL is the definitive edition of the acclaimed fighting game, combining the main Mortal Kombat X experience with a massive roster of new and returning characters for intense, brutal, and cinematic battles across multiple modes. You'll master fast-paced, cinematic combat with unique abilities, fatalities, and combos, facing off in both single-player modes and online multiplayer against friends or global competitors. It's an 87 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. For $5, 90% off, Mortal Kombat 11 is a fast-paced fighting game where you step into the arena with a massive roster of returning legends and new warriors as time itself unravels in an epic clash against Kronika. You'll customize each character with detailed variations, skins, and abilities, then dive into tense, combo-heavy battles that blend crisp mechanics, cinematic presentation, and bone-crunching X-ray attacks that make every hit feel devastating. It's an 83 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 60 hours to platinum. For $5, 75% off, Dishonored Definitive Edition is a stealth action adventure from Arcane Studios, where you play supernatural assassin Corvo Attano, seeking revenge in the plague-ridden city of Dunwall. With flexible combat that blends supernatural abilities, weapons, and gadgets, plus all-included DLC like Dunwall City Trials and story expansions starring Dodd, it offers a complete and highly replayable immersive sim experience. It's an 89 on Game Rankings, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $5, 75% off, Death's Door is a stylish top-down action adventure where you play as a crow tasked with reaping souls in a haunting, mysterious world where death no longer naturally occurs. When a soul you're assigned to collect is stolen, you'll embark on a perilous journey through strange lands untouched by time, battling bizarre creatures and unraveling a conspiracy that threatens the fragile balance of life and death itself. It's an 88 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $5, 75% off, Unravel is a puzzle platformer that introduces Yarny, a lovable character made from a single thread of yarn that slowly unravels as you explore the snow-dusted landscapes of northern Scandinavia. Using Yarny's thread to swing from branches, hitch rides on kites, and overcome inventive environmental challenges that test both skill and timing, you'll embark on a heartfelt journey through levels that symbolize the ties that bind loved ones. It's a 77 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $4, 75% off, Gree is an emotionally evocative platformer where players explore a beautifully crafted, atmospheric world free of danger, frustration, or death, guided by delicate visuals, fluid animation, and an elegant original score. Solve light puzzles, navigate graceful platforming sequences, and discover optional skill-based challenges as new areas of Gree's vibrant, ever-changing world gradually open, revealing more of its quiet, poignant story. It's an 86 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 5 hours to platinum. For $4, 85% off, Darkest Dungeon is a gothic roguelike turn-based RPG where you recruit and lead a team of flawed heroes through twisted forests, forgotten warrens, and ruined crypts, facing monstrous enemies, famine, disease, and psychological stress. You'll manage your party's fears and afflictions while battling an array of eldritch horrors in a punishing strategic combat system that rewards planning, risk management, and adaptable tactics. It's an 84 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 8 out of 10, and about 80 hours to platinum. For $4, 85% off, Lost in Random is a gothic fairy tale-inspired action-adventure where fate itself is dictated by the roll of a die, pulling you into a twisted kingdom ruled by a cruel queen and divided into 6 shadowy realms. You follow Even and her living dice companion Dicey through eerie streets and storybook locations, blending real-time combat with tactical card play and chance-driven dice mechanics as you fight inside shifting board game arenas. It's a 78 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $4, 75% off, Towerfall Ascension is a fast-paced arcade archery game built around intense local multiplayer battles, where precision, timing, and positioning are key to surviving chaotic, close-quarters encounters with friends and rivals. Battle in competitive versus modes, catch arrows mid-air, and use power-ups from treasure chests, while also teaming up in co-op quest mode to fight waves of enemies, monsters, and archers. It's an 84 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 8 out of 10, and about 100 hours to platinum. For $4, 70% off, Donut County is a physics-based puzzle game where you control an ever-growing hole, swallowing trash, objects, and the quirky residents of a whimsical town to uncover a humorous, surprisingly heartfelt story. You'll explore unique homes, solve inventive puzzles by moving and enlarging the hole, and catapult items to trigger chain reactions, while interacting with adorable characters and uncovering the consequences of your mischief. It's a 76 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 1 out of 10, and about 5 hours to platinum. For $5, 75% off, Batman Arkham VR lets you step directly into the cowl of the Dark Knight in an immersive first-person mystery set within the acclaimed Arkham universe, built from the ground up for virtual reality. Experience Gotham City through Batman's eyes as you investigate crime scenes, reconstruct events using tools in the Batcave, and wield iconic gadgets like batarangs and the grapnel gun in a tense, atmospheric story. It's a 74 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 5 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $5, 75% off, Injustice 2 is a story-driven fighting game where DC's greatest heroes and villains clash in brutal, visually stunning combat across fully destructible arenas, filled with dynamic stage transitions and powerful environmental attacks throughout the multiverse. You'll collect and equip gear after every battle, customizing and evolving heroes like Batman, Wonder Woman, and The Flash with unique builds that change their look and powers. It's an 87 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. For $5, 75% off, Guacamelee 2 is a colorful, dimension-hopping Metroidvania where retired luchador Juan Aguacate steps back into the ring to save the collapsing Mexiverse from a hilariously unhinged multiversal threat. You'll explore a lively world inspired by Mexican folklore as you swap dimensions, string together flashy wrestling combos, and tackle tricky platforming challenges across vibrant towns, eerie swamps, and fiery underworld arenas. It's an 86 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $5, 75% off, Watam is a physics-based adventure from Katamari creator Keita Takahashi, where you play as the lonely mayor in a dark, forgotten world filled with quirky objects waiting to be reunited and rediscover happiness. You'll explore surreal environments as you befriend over 100 characters, everything from clouds and flowers to toilets and fruit, joining hands, stacking, and exploding with laughter in joyful, unpredictable chaos. It's a 74 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $2, 90% off, Ghost Giant is a heartfelt, narrative-driven VR adventure about stepping into young Lewis's life and becoming his invisible guardian in the miniature town of Sandcourt, breaking the fourth wall throughout. You'll physically interact with a handcrafted diorama world, solve tactile environmental puzzles by lifting roofs and moving buildings, and help quirky villagers with hands-on tasks using your giant presence and clever problem-solving skills. It's an 82 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $5, 75% off, Wolfenstein The Old Blood is a standalone prequel to the critically acclaimed first-person action-adventure shooter Wolfenstein The New Order, delivering a thrilling, story-driven, and intense combat experience. Spanning 8 chapters and 2 interconnected stories, it features the hallmarks of machine games: high-octane action, immersive storytelling, cinematic set pieces, and brutal first-person combat. It's a 78 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $5, 75% off, Ruiner is a brutal cyberpunk action shooter where a wired sociopath fights to rescue his kidnapped brother and uncover the truth under the guidance of a secretive hacker ally in a high-stakes world. Engage in fast-paced, tactical combat using an arsenal of state-of-the-art gadgets and abilities, from energy shields and reflex boosters to hacking enemies and manipulating the battlefield, as every encounter demands skill and timing. It's a 77 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $4, 80% off, Psychonauts in the Rhombus of Ruin is a VR-exclusive psychic adventure that returns players to the paranormal world of the Psychonauts over 10 years after the original, fully immersing them in bizarre, mind-bending environments. You'll guide Raz using only his psychic abilities to solve puzzles, reunite kidnapped teammates, and uncover the identity of a mysterious kidnapper while navigating the treacherous hazards of the Rhombus of Ruin. It's a 72 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 5 hours to platinum. For $3, 92% off, Sherlock Holmes Crimes and Punishments is a gripping detective adventure where you solve 6 thrilling, intricate cases, from murders to spectacular thefts, sometimes venturing into the fantastical. Decide carefully whether to follow your moral compass or strictly enforce the law, using 14 detection skills to investigate, interrogate, and determine suspects' fates, with consequences that shape your reputation and the world. It's a 76 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $4, 85% off, Other Side is a tactical RPG where you command the Daughters, echoes of the greatest warrior, and humanity's last hope against relentless, nightmarish manifestations of suffering. You'll carefully and strategically plan battles around the dynamic timeline system, sacrifice one daughter to permanently empower another for future runs, and face grotesque bosses born from humanity's worst crimes in stark black and white arenas. It's a 77 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $1, 90% off, The Last Campfire is a charming puzzle adventure following a lost ember on an emotional journey through a mysterious and magical world in search of meaning and a way home. As you explore the lands beyond the Dark Forest, you'll solve clever and inventive environmental puzzles, help lost souls rekindle their fragile hope, and uncover a deeply touching story about perseverance, purpose, and the resilience of the spirit. It's a 78 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 5 hours to platinum. For $4, 70% off, The Walking Dead: The Complete First Season is an emotional, story-driven adventure where you play as a convicted criminal given a second chance in a world overrun by the undead, tasked with protecting the orphan Clementine while navigating moral dilemmas and survival challenges. This complete edition includes all 5 award-winning episodes, plus the additional episode 400 Days, delivering a gripping, choice-driven experience. It's a 91 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 1 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $2, 75% off, Risk of Rain is a fast-paced, intense roguelike action game that challenges players to survive increasingly difficult waves of enemies while exploring massive, procedurally generated levels. Play solo or engage in local and online multiplayer with friends and other players from around the world, unlocking 12 unique characters from the commando to the miner and engineer, each with distinct abilities. It's a 77 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 25 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $5, 75% off, Telling Lies is an investigative thriller with non-linear storytelling where you explore a stolen NSA video database to uncover the deeply intertwined lives of 4 people over 2 years, piecing together the truth behind a shocking incident. You'll search for keywords, watch intimate and revealing clips, and interpret perspectives as you carefully assemble the story, with performances from a star-studded cast guiding your investigation. It's a 79 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 1 out of 10, and about 5 hours to platinum. For $5, 75% off, Carrion is a reverse horror game where you play as a mysterious, amorphous creature seeking revenge on those who imprisoned you, turning the tables on traditional horror by making you the predator rather than the prey. Stalk, consume, and terrify your captors while growing, mutating, and evolving, unlocking increasingly devastating abilities to wreak havoc and spread fear throughout the sprawling, labyrinthine facility. It's a 76 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $4, 80% off, Monster Sanctuary is a Metroidvania adventure where you explore an interconnected world while capturing, training, and battling a diverse roster of 111 unique and powerful monsters with distinct abilities and traits. You'll use their abilities to solve environmental puzzles, traverse tricky platforming sections, and engage in strategic turn-based combat where team composition, attack order, and synergies determine victory. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. For $4, 75% off, Gorogoa is a puzzle adventure where you solve storybook-like challenges by sliding and combining illustrated panels to reveal hidden connections and progress through its dreamlike, resonant narrative. You'll manipulate beautifully detailed artwork to uncover clever visual tricks, shifting perspectives and layering scenes in unexpected ways that turn simple images into intricate, multi-step solutions filled with surprising depth. It's an 85 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 5 hours to platinum. For $4, 80% off, Pathfinder Kingmaker Definitive Edition is a choice-driven single-player RPG that lets you explore, conquer, and rule the wild stolen lands of Galarian through deep storytelling and complex party-building systems. Create heroes from hundreds of classes and abilities, recruit 12 companions with unique personalities and quests, and shape your destiny through impactful moral choices, political alliances, and kingdom management. It's a 72 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 10 out of 10, and about 300 hours to platinum. For $3, 75% off, Cat Quest is an open-world RPG set in the whimsical world of Felongard, where you play a heroic cat on a quest to rescue your catnapped sister from sinister forces threatening the kingdom. You'll explore a vast overworld filled with colorful characters, engaging stories, and challenging dungeons, while battling enemies, completing side quests, and leveling up your feline hero with new abilities, equipment, and magical powers. It's a 76 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $5, 75% off, Destroy All Humans 2 is a sci-fi action-adventure where you play as the alien Crypto, wreaking havoc on humanity across a Cold War-era open world filled with parody, chaos, and outrageous humor. Use an upgraded arsenal of alien weapons, unleash psychic abilities, and explore large sandbox environments while body-snatching humans, battling secret agents and military forces, and teaming up in co-op modes. It's a 76 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $4, 85% off, Ghost of a Tale is a stealth-driven adventure where you play as Tilo, a courageous minstrel mouse trying to escape the dungeons of Dwindling Heights Keep and find his lost love, Mera. Set in a medieval world ruled by rats and filled with crumbling ruins, twisting corridors, and lush outdoor areas, the game blends exploration and immersive storytelling with a painterly art style and meticulous attention to atmosphere. It's a 75 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $2, 90% off, Rogue Legacy is a roguelite platformer where you storm a procedurally generated castle, die constantly, and pass the adventure down through a family lineage that grows stronger with every run. Each heir comes with unique traits that change how the game feels, while 10 distinct classes with different abilities force you to adapt your playstyle as you fight through enemy types, master tight combat, and handle platforming challenges. It's an 84 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 8 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. For $5, 75% off, Destroy All Humans is a sci-fi action-adventure where you play as Cryptosporidium 137, an alien invader harvesting human DNA while terrorizing Earth with destructive tools, absurd humor, and over-the-top sci-fi weaponry. Use a wide range of alien weapons, unleash psychic abilities, and traverse environments by jetpack or UFO, while causing chaos, abducting humans, and battling military forces across varied locations. It's a 77 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $4, 75% off, Jazz Punk Director's Cut is a wildly surreal first-person comedy adventure set in an alternate Cold War reality, filled with corporate espionage, ridiculous spy agencies, and non-stop absurdist humor. Explore bizarre open environments at your own pace using strange spy gadgets, complete wildly offbeat missions for secret agencies, and uncover cleverly hidden jokes scattered throughout its vibrant, cartoon-inspired world. It's a 75 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 5 hours to platinum. For $4, 80% off, Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle is a flashy 2D crossover fighting game that unites characters from Blaze Blue, Persona 4 Arena, Under Night Inbirth, and Ruby in explosive 2v2 battles. Pick your dream tag team and dive into fast-paced matches featuring active switch mechanics, stylish auto combos, and sharp Arc System Works sprite work that keeps every round chaotic, strategic, and highly competitive both online and offline. It's a 75 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $5, 70% off, The Walking Dead Season 2 is a narrative-driven adventure where you play as Clementine, a young survivor navigating a brutal world shaped by loss, danger, and difficult choices while struggling to stay alive. Make impactful decisions, interact with new survivors, and explore bleak environments while shaping the story through moral dilemmas, branching outcomes, and consequences carried over from previous seasons. It's a 78 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 1 out of 10, and about 5 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $5, 75% off, Gauntlet Slayer Edition is a dungeon-crawling action RPG that pits you and your friends against endless hordes of monstrous foes across a wide variety of perilous, treasure-filled, and intricately designed dungeons full of surprises. Choose from multiple heroes, each with unique weapons, abilities, and customization options, as you battle through traps, puzzles, and waves of enemies in fast-paced cooperative combat. It's a 70 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. For $3, 90% off, Battlezone Gold Edition is a first-person tank combat game where you pilot the Cobra across neon-scarred sci-fi landscapes, engaging in explosive missions for 1 to 4 players in single-player or co-op. Conquer procedurally generated campaigns, unleash a devastating arsenal of weapons, and fully immerse yourself using PlayStation VR for scale, intensity, and battlefield awareness while enjoying all-included content packs. It's a 75 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 8 out of 10, and about 250 hours to platinum. For $5, 75% off, Duke Nukem 3D 20th Anniversary World Tour is a classic action shooter where you blast aliens, save Earth, and deliver iconic one-liners in over-the-top, chaotic style, revisiting all the humor and carnage that made the original legendary. Play all new Episode 5 with bonus content, re-recorded dialogue from John St. John, and a fresh score from original composer Lee Jackson, all fully remastered with updated visuals. It's an 87 on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 5 hours to platinum. For $4, 70% off, The Walking Dead: A New Frontier is an episodic narrative adventure where you play as Javier, a man desperate to reunite with his family in a world torn apart by the undead, starvation, and moral decay. Players navigate complex decisions, build relationships, and face life-or-death choices while traveling through dangerous settlements, confronting hostile survivors, and struggling against relentless zombie hordes. It's a 71 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 1 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $3, 85% off, Eldest Souls is a brutal, boss-focused Souls-like where you wield a massive obsidian greatsword to challenge imprisoned old gods within a decaying citadel, steeped in bleak atmosphere, haunting lore, and relentless, tension-filled encounters. Combat is fast, punishing, and precision-driven, rewarding bold play with powerful abilities, while each handcrafted boss demands mastery of patterns, positioning, timing, and adaptive strategy. It's a 75 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 8 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $3, 80% off, SteamWorld Heist puts you in command of a steam-driven pirate crew, leading epic tactical shootouts across enemy spaceships. Unlike traditional turn-based strategy, you manually aim each shot, allowing insane skill shots, ricochets, and bullet-bouncing action, while upgrading your recruits with unique weapons, abilities, and even stylish hats as you explore procedurally generated levels brimming with loot and danger. It's an 86 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $3, 90% off, Killing Floor 2 is a cooperative first-person shooter where players descend into continental Europe to battle hordes of mutant specimens created by the Horzine Biotech's failed experiment just 1 month after the events of the original game. Track outbreaks, defend civilians, and exterminate waves of Zeds across various hot zones, while upgrading weapons, coordinating with mercenaries, and surviving increasingly intense combat scenarios. It's a 78 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $4, 70% off, Shady Part of Me is an emotional puzzle platformer where you navigate surreal dreamscapes as a little girl and her shadow, blending 2D and 3D gameplay with introspective storytelling. Work together to overcome emotional struggles, manipulate light and shadows, and use time rewinding abilities to solve contemplative puzzles, while exploring unique watercolor-inspired environments filled with twists, surprises, and poetic charm. It's a 77 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 5 hours to platinum. For $5, 75% off, Nexomon Extinction is a classic-inspired monster-catching RPG where you join the Tamers Guild to stop powerful tyrant Nexomon from driving the world to ruin. Capture and train over 300 Nexomon across diverse regions, battle roaming tyrants and rival tamers in animated turn-based combat, and navigate a dynamic difficulty system that scales as you progress through the story with evolving teams and tougher encounters. It's a 72 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 60 hours to platinum. For $1, 90% off, Bridge Constructor Portal is a physics-based puzzle game that combines the mind-bending mechanics of Portal with the engineering challenges of Bridge Constructor. Build bridges, ramps, slides, and more across 60 test chambers to safely guide the bendies in their vehicles, using portals, propulsion and repulsion gels, aerial faith plates, cubes, and other gadgets to bypass turrets, lasers, acid pools, and tricky switch puzzles. It's a 76 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $5, 75% off, Curse of the Dead Gods is a brutal, skill-based action roguelike where you descend into a cursed temple in search of riches, power, and immortality. Fight through trap-filled corridors and deadly arenas, wield swords, spears, and firearms against relentless enemies and towering bosses, and manage a corruption system where powerful curses can either strengthen your build or suddenly twist your fate in devastating ways. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 8 out of 10, and about 80 hours to platinum. For $3, 85% off, Metro 2033 Redux is a post-apocalyptic first-person shooter set in the dangerous tunnels of the Moscow Metro, where survivors struggle against mutant horrors while trying to protect what remains of humanity. You'll navigate claustrophobic stations in desolate surface wastelands, scavenge scarce resources, and engage intense combat as Artyom on a desperate mission to warn the remnants of mankind of a looming threat. It's an 85 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $3, 80% off, Titan Souls is a minimalist boss rush action game where a lone hero armed with a single arrow hunts colossal guardians to reclaim the scattered Titan souls. Face towering titans in tense one-hit kill encounters, retrieve and reposition your lone arrow after every shot, and carefully study each arena to exploit tiny weaknesses, while dodging deadly attacks and solving environmental puzzles in brutal precision-based battles. It's a 75 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 8 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $3, 80% off, Broken Age is a whimsical point-and-click adventure where you follow Vela Tartine and Shea Volta, two teenagers navigating strange, magical worlds while confronting challenges that shape their futures and personal growth. Switch between their stories, solve inventive puzzles, interact with quirky characters, and enjoy a fully orchestrated original soundtrack while experiencing witty dialogue, clever humor, and an all-star voice cast. It's a 79 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $3, 85% off, Snake Pass is a physics-based puzzle platformer where you play as Noodle the Snake and his hyperactive companion, Doodle the Hummingbird, on a mission to reunite the missing keystones with the magical gates that power Haven Tor. Players must think like a snake, slithering through grass, coiling around bamboo, and navigating puzzles using Noodle's unique movement abilities across 15 brain-bending, snake-charming levels. It's a 74 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. Alright, that's it for today's list, everybody. If you've played any of these already, drop your thoughts in the comments. Your insights help others find great games too, it's not just mine. As always, I want to thank all my channel members for their generous support, but to all you out there who watch, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff as well, thank you. You're the reason I'm still having fun making all these videos every day, and I'm genuinely grateful for each and every one of you out there. If you can spare $1 a month, you get early access to all my videos, and it helps me out more than you know. But I know times are tough out there, so all I do ask is, if you enjoyed the video, hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with any new sale stuff that I put out, leave a like, and comment down below if you've got any of these platinums or plan on going for any of them.